fashion bosses, how are you doing today? Awesome, good to be with you once again. In today's tutorial video, we are going to be learning how to make this beautiful baby jacket with a short collar, as you can see. All right, guys, so we are going to draft the pattern for the jacket, okay? All right, so this is my basic pattern. Like I already told you, like you already known, is a little girl's jacket, so there isn't so much a fizzy to it. Okay, so I've drafted the basic pattern, or the basic bodice rather. I also use it, transferred it into another fresh pattern paper, but I'm going to carry you along on what I did. So basically, this is the back panel. This is the back panel. This is the back panel. So what I did was from here to here is the length of the jacket. The length of the jacket is actually 10 inches. So I added 1.5 inches to it as seam allowances or seam allowance. Okay, the width of the pattern, the width of this pattern or this jacket, the neck width right now, I use 2.5 inches, and then I use 0.75 inches as the depth. Okay, so I came down by 0.5 for my shoulder slope, and then my armhole, and then basically this is the body of the jacket. Okay, no darts, nothing, just for a child, a 4-year-old child, no bust, and all of those. So we're just going to make it very simple and plain. And then this is the back line. Okay, the spine, at the back area. On the waistline, I came inward by 0.75 inches, or inch rather, knowing fully well that the spine, the human back is not straight, so we have that fitting on the back line. So I came inward by 0.75, and then I connected it to this point. Okay, so that's what I did basically, and then I transferred all of this into a fresh pattern. Okay, so this one is going to be our front panel. This is the back panel. Hope you understand. All right, if there is any parts of this tutorial that you do not understand, please kindly drop your question on the comment section. I'm always here to attend to questions and concerns, or still you can send me a message on WhatsApp. I am always here to attend. So on the front panel right now, okay, the neck depth for the front panel, I use 2.5 inches rather. The width remains the same, 2.5. Then the shoulder slope, then of course the body is the same, and then I came in on my armhole area for the front panel by 0.5, and then I connected to avoid any form of bulge around this area. So that is it basically. So we are just going to go ahead right now to get our break point, introduce our lapel, which is the collar, and then we are done with this pattern. Okay, so because this project does not have bust, under bust, and all of those, and I told you earlier that the the length is 10 inches, and I added a 1.5 inch to it as seam allowance, which is this that I'm doing right now. Okay, this is the seam allowance. This is the same allowance. From here to here is 10 inches, which is the body of the jacket. Please, when you're going to draft something like this, be it for an adult or for a child, always make sure that you have, enough space on the upper area around here. Okay, and then you also have enough space on this side of your either fabric or pattern paper, whichever one you are doing or using first. Okay, so we are going to get our break point. The break point is the point where your lapel, you know, the collar in front of your jacket either starts or ends as it's wear. So we are going to use from here right now. Basically, for an adult, you can either allow your lapel to stop, you know, 2 inches below your under bust line, okay, or 1 inch, you know, before your waistline. So whichsoever one works for you. They all have their own, you know, form of beauty. So but for the benefit of this, I'm going to allow my lapel, or the lapel for this project, to stop somewhere around 7.5 inches. Okay, the length of the jacket is 10, so we are going to allow it stop somewhere around there, 7.5 inches, you know. So this is our break point right now. So for an adult jacket, we are supposed to come out here by 1 inches, which that is going to create allowance for our birthing. For this jacket, because it's a child and there are some embellishments in front of, you know, the main dress, I'm not going to be giving allowances for zip, providing allowance or room for zip, for buttons. Okay, so I'm just going to let the button space go. All right, so I haven't done this, I haven't gotten our breaking point. We're just going to connect from this point right now, down to this point where we have our breaking dots, and then we are going to, you know, draw up a square like this. To that point. Okay, then we are going to reach out to our back panel, which is this, and then we are going to measure this line, this neck width. Okay, I told you it was 2.5 inches, but because we form a curve, it may increase a little by either 0.25 or 0.5. So I'm just going to measure it like this. The same thing is applicable if you're making a jacket for an adult. Okay, so what we have here right now is 2.35. okay, so we are going to introduce that 2.35 up here in a diagonal manner. So this is 2.35, you know, from this point. Okay, we are just going to, you know, slant it a little. Okay, that's 2.35, and then we are going to extend this line. Extend the line. Okay, so I haven't extended the line, so we are going to come behind this line. Okay, with a 0.5 or by 0.5. okay, this is to enable the collar sit properly behind your neck area. So we are just going to connect it nicely, you know, into this line. We're just going to connect it nicely into this line. So it means that we are not using this line anymore. So this is one we are going to use. So at this point now, you're going to determine how wide you want your collar to be, or your lapel. But for a child, I think 2 inches should be enough. 2 inches or 2.5 inches should be enough. So I'm just going to use 2.5 inches, okay, which is here. Okay, so I'm going to connect using a set. That way. Okay, So from here now, you can now ascertain how you want the collar to be, how you want, you know, if you want it to be curved around here, you want it to have a form of, you know, straight line around there, you know, you just play with it basically. Okay, so I'm just going to use my ruler and give it the kind of shape that I want. That is it. Okay, and this is a lapel. All right, so go ahead right now to add a 0.5 round about, you know, a pattern. I'm only adding a 0.5 on this lapel area because I've already added seam allowance, you know, to the body of the jacket when I drafted. If it were to be an adult, a jacket for an adult, you know, we are going to connect the darts, you know, down to the shoulder line and then slash to give us a form of princess dart, you know, and all of the, but we are not doing all of that for this. Then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to form a little curve around here. Okay, I'm going to come up by by 1 inch. Okay, and then, or I can even use this one we have here, which is 1.5, and then I'll connect. I can use my ruler just to give it a bit of shape and form around this area, so it's not just straight all the way. Okay, like that, you know. And I'm going to come by the side here and come up by 1 inch, 0.75, you know, just giving a form of, some form of beautification around your jacket. And then I'm going to connect, so it's not just straight. You know, I'm going to also do the same to the side of the back panel. There's nothing difficult about this process. It's not rocket science, but it's actually optional. Okay, if you want to leave it like that, it's fine. Okay, so basically we are done with this project. Okay, so I can go ahead to add my allowance, 0.5 inch seam allowance, to my lapel. So the next thing to do at this point, now we're done adding 0.5 inch seam allowance, you know, round about the area that it is needed and necessary. So we'll just go around right now, about right now, to curtain. I'll first of all cut this part, you know, at the back area where we did the 0.7 inch slant, okay, to avoid every form of bulge around, you know, that area at the back panel. So when you are done cutting, you use it to, you transfer it into your fabric. Okay, so you are cutting depending on the kind of fabric you want to use. I'm using this fabric, it's called Mikado silk. Okay, so I'm using it for both inside and outside. I'm using it both for the inside and the outside to line. So if you want to use a different fabric for your lining, you use your main fabric to cut the outer part, and then use the lining fabric to cut the one you're going to use to line it on the inside parts. Okay, so our back panel is ready. So I'm going to transfer it into my main fabric. You know, you introduce my fusible interfacing, whichever you want to use, be it paper stay, air stay, whichever one you have at your disposal, and then you also find convenience for you. It's fine, okay? Alright guys, so I've used my pattern paper to cut my fabric, the main fabric for the jacket, and then the lining, okay? This is what we have. This is the front panel, then this is the back panel. So I use it to cut the main fabric and the lining like I mentioned earlier. So I cut them in twos, okay? So this is, we'll use one as the main fabric, and then also I use the main fabric to cut as the lining, okay, for the front panel, the front parts of the jacket, okay? So that's why we are having two different pieces but the same fabric, because by the time you turn your lapel, you want the main fabric to show, okay, or your desired fabric to show, you know, on the frontal parts of your lapel, okay, which is also, you know, your collar, okay? This is what you should have. All right, you want your main fabric to show, you know, on this side, or whatsoever fabric you want to show on the side. So that's why I'm using the main fabric I'm using for the jacket to line the front part. And then this is the back panel, okay? So I use my main fabric, and then I'm using another fabric as the lining. So whatsoever we are going to be doing on the main fabric is the same thing we are also going to be replicating on the lining. Please hold that in mind. So we are going to the sewing or the stitching process properly right now. So I pick up my main fabric. This is the back panel. I mentioned earlier that in this project, this jacket, because it's a child, we didn't have to use any form of that because the child doesn't have a bust, you know, no nipple to nipple pointing and all of that, okay? So even if there is a nipple to nipple, it may just be 2 inches, and it may not really look well, so I just ignored it, okay? So I'm going to place my fabric this way, the back panel, and then I'm going to stitch up this part, okay? I left a 0.5 inch sewing allowance. I'm going to stitch up this part, making it one piece, okay? By the time we stitch up, we are going to be having one piece, okay? So I'm going to do that first, and then secondly, I'm going to take my front panel, okay? I'm going to stitch the back neck area. This is the back neck, okay, the width, the back neck, something like this, okay? So this part is going to be around the back neck side, okay? So I'm going to stitch it up, and then I'll come back to you. All right, so I've sewn, and I've also ironed this part flat, and then with my center back I've joined, okay? I also ironed it. So right about now we are going to attach the front panel to the back panel on the neck line area, okay? So I'll place this like this. This is the collar side, the front side. I will bring it this way. seam line meeting seam line, very important. Okay, seam line meeting seam line, and then I'm going to pin it down. I want to be sure that mine is properly positioned. Okay, then I'm going to pin it down. All right, so I'm going to sew. I'm going to sew from here down here. So you see this part where you have this angle. Okay, when you get there, you may have to notch after getting there where your thread will end, still, you know, stuck to your sewing machine. You notch it a little so that it will give you access to turn this shoulder part to the other side, and then you join it. Okay, so you do the same thing to the other side also. Please make sure that when you get to this angle, okay, this angle, you notch it a little. If you do not notch, you may find it difficult to bring this shoulder part to meet with this shoulder part. It's very important. Okay, so that is that. And then when I'm done doing that, I'm going to join the side of, let me join it and then I'll tell you. All right guys, so I've joined. Okay, see my seam, everything is properly aligned. I like it, it's looking very beautiful. Okay, so this is the inner part. So I've not ironed it, so I'm going to take it to my ironing table and iron it properly, opening all this parts and iron it. I'm gonna notch this part, the neckline, and then iron it properly. Okay, and then after doing that, I'm going to bring it this way like this, and then I'm going to stitch it down. Okay, using the amount of seam allowance that you have left, that you know provided for it. Okay, also going to do the same to my lining. Okay, so by the time you join both sides together, okay, this is what you should have. Your jacket should be looking like this. Okay, we are almost done. Okay, so the same steps can also be applied for a jacket for an adult. The difference is that we did not use that for this one. Okay, so I know you may have probably forgotten to give this video a thumbs up. Please kindly do right away, like this video, share if you have not yet, you know, give a like, give a thumbs up. Okay, do a like, do a thumbs up right now. Okay, all right, so you see it's looking all beautiful. Okay, or is it not? This is the collar. It's looking all beautiful. All right, so you go ahead and join yours, and then I'm also going to be attaching my sleeve. Okay, so on the channel I have a tutorial on how to draft a one-piece sleeve, so you can refer to it. I can also do well to drop the link. I will also do well to drop the link on the comment section. Okay, a one-piece sleeve. Okay, it's meant for corporate outfits such as this, so that's what I'm going to be using. And then I will attach it. I will also attach to the lining. Okay, and then we'll come back and do the turning. Okay, all right guys, so I'm done joining my sides. Okay, put them together. I've joined the sides. Okay, both sides I've joined. I also went ahead to fix my sleeve. Okay, I told you I have a tutorial video on the channel on how to draft a one-piece sleeve. Okay, I've gone ahead to fix it. I also did the same for the lining. Okay, so the next thing for us to do now is to use the lining to turn the main fabric, and then we are done. Okay, so I'm going to position my main fabric this way. It's already inside out. Okay, it's already inside out. And I'm also going to bring the lining part, this is the lining part, and place it this way. It also has to be inside out, so it invariably means that your right side is facing, your right side of your lining is facing your right side of your main fabric. Hope you understand. Okay, so I'm going to first of all join the bottom. Please kindly note, if as at the time you are making yours, you made the lining, you can make the lining 1 inch shorter than the main fabric. Okay, either 1 inch or 0.5. The essence is to pull the main fabric upward on the inside of the garments a little. Okay, so that the lining will not be flowing out. I'm sure you know what that means by now. Okay, so because of that, I shortened my own fabric by my own lining by 1 inch. So I'm going to position it this way. Okay, as you can see, all seams are properly aligned already by default. Okay, so I'm going to pin, and then I'll go ahead to join the bottom. Okay, you see all seams are properly aligned. Okay, so I'll go ahead to join the bottom first, and then when I'm done joining the bottom, I will then come to the sides. I will then come to the sides. So because your lining is a bit shorter than your main fabric, it may not align on the upper part, so you have to pull, adjust it from the down part a little, so it will get it complete. Okay, so after doing that, we'll now come up and sew on the sides roundabout. You also make sure that these seams, you know, at the neck area, you know, the center back, the center neck area at the back, you know, is properly aligned. Okay, you can go ahead to pin so that it does not move. All right, so you sew roundabout, you know, you sew, and then it will bring you back down to the other end of the hem of the jacket. So when you're done doing that, we are going to go ahead to fix our sleeve. So your two sleeve by now should be out. Okay, so what you will do, how do you fix your sleeve? You pick up either of the sleeve. Okay, please watch carefully. Okay, now you're working with this seam, this line, you know, where you joined your sleeve, that's line. Okay, you're careful and conscious of it. So you're going to place it this way, right side facing the right side, like this. Okay, so the right side is facing the right side. Hope you got that. And then when you've achieved that, we flip it like this, and then you will sew. You will sew it round. Okay, the right side of the fabric is facing the right side of the lining. That's how to turn. All right, as you can see, the right side is facing the right side, and then you are sewing it like this. Okay, you sew it round. It's not difficult, so you sew it round and do the same to the other parts of the sleeve. So I'm going to go ahead to sew mine at the area I've illustrated to you, then we'll come back to turn it inside out. Okay, so guys, I've joined, and we are just a few seconds away from being done. Okay, so I've joined the sleeve, so you can see the both seams on the same spots. Okay, see how round I joined it. Okay, both seams on the same spot, you can see. Okay, the same thing is applicable to the other one. All right, so I also joined the lapel area. Okay, and then I also went ahead to notch because of the curviness around the lapel area. Okay, so that it relaxes properly. All right, so we are just going to turn it inside out right now. So on this lining part, I have to open a space here so that we can have access to bringing out our jackets. Okay, on the lining part, when we are done, we'll stitch it back with hand stitching, invisible tacking, or whatever you can do, but in as much as it's going to come out neatly, it's perfect. So I'll just dip my hand in there and I will reach out for my sleeve. So you're bringing out your sleeve first. You are pulling out the main fabric, not the lining. Okay, the main fabric. So I'm just going to pull it out. So as we pull out the main fabric, the lining will follow automatically. Okay, so if you have watched this video up to this time and you've not subscribed, I want to encourage you to please kindly do. Please. Okay, this is it. Okay, I'll reach out for the other sleeve. Follow us on Instagram at Fashion Boss Innovations Academy, at Fashion Boss Innovations. On Facebook, our Facebook page is at Fashion Boss Innovation. Like the page, follow us. Also, we also drop sewing tutorials and our sewing concerns on those platforms. We even have a Facebook group that we also, attend to our concern as well. Okay, follow us on TikTok. We're on TikTok at Fashion Boss, and we have a WhatsApp number. You can reach us if you have any concern. Do not forget to tap on the bell if you have subscribed. The bell enables you to get notification each time we drop new video. Okay? So here we are. Our jacket is ready. We're going to give it a very good ironing. Okay, you see all the seams are properly aligned. Fold it up properly. Iron the lapel area properly. Needs a proper ironing. Okay, see, this is it. It's a little tacky and tedious working on children's outfits, but what can we do? We have passion for the things we do. See, so I'm going to iron it and then you will see the final result. All right guys, thanks for staying to the end of this video. We love you, we appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not, and then we'll see you in our next video. Let me just go ahead right now to give this a very good ironing. See you on the next video, okay? Just bring every point out properly. Alright guys, bye now. See you on the next video. I'm going to embellish it with my roses. It's beautiful. Neatly sewn. All right guys,